It's an age-old question. What is better, Shaun of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead? And today on Fog Entertainment, we're going to review one of them. I believe we've already reviewed Dawn of the Dead, and you know what? I think they're two very good movies. They're brilliant in what they both do. Obviously, Dawn of the Dead bringing that more authentic horror with a bit of comedy sprinkled in there, while Big Shaun of the Dead's definitely bringing you your crazy stuff. Some iconic, like, British stuff in here, of course. You know, you've got the image of Shaun, Simon Pegg's character, walking to the shop the day before the apocalypse, and then you've got him the morning of the apocalypse. And I think that mirrored scene is very well done. But of course, we've got Simon Frost. Is it Simon Frost? The actor that plays Ed in this. I always get their... I know it's Simon Pegg. Is it Simon Frost? Maybe that's wrong, I'm not too sure, but, you know, he's a bit of a deadbeat in this. He's, you know, answering the phone. Hey, Noodle, what's up, man? You want to play some Halo 4 or something? It wouldn't be Halo 4, it'd be more like Halo 2 back in 2004. But yeah, this movie's 20 years old, set in London, and what I noticed for it being set in London is there was a lot of white people. See if it was set in 2024 and they produced this movie, I'll tell you what, diversity, they wouldn't be too happy. They would be like, there needs to be a shit ton. There was actually, like, this movie was pretty much majority white. What's going on there, huh? You trying to tell me something about London that I shouldn't know, brother? But enough about demographics. Shaun's girlfriend is Liz. She's not too happy about the fact they spend every night in the Winchester, and is the gun above the bar real? We'll find out all that later, but I like the intro. I can't even remember the tune, but it's like a wee catchy tune that's showing you zombies that we'll see later in the movie, but it's like doing their day jobs, and it's like, yeah, see you guys working your wee cushy, I say your cushy, your wee 9 to 5, aye, you're a zombie. How about those apples? You're a zombie, but yeah, essentially he agrees, right, you know what, I'll take you out, Liz. I thought we went on holiday that time. Turns out they met in Greece, not really going on holiday, is it? But they've been going out for 3 years. He's 29. It's weird because, see, when you see Simon Pegg, you don't look at him as like a 29-year-old. He always just seems to be like middle-aged. Well, I say middle-aged. Middle-aged is like 50, isn't it? I mean, he's middle-aged now, but I mean, it's just, you can just never really picture this guy as being like that age. It's weird. But yeah, he obviously forgets to do this. Book the reservation, he can't get one. He's like, how about the Winchester? She hangs up, he goes, she dumps him. Can I blame him? No. Can I blame her? Sorry, no. So him and Ed, they go, they're drinking, and he's like giving all these backstories to everybody is in the Winchester, trying to put them over, but the reality is they're not very much over, guys. You cannot be over and be in this Winchester pub at the same time, because if you're here, it seems to be that you're a bit of a diddy, man, to say the least. But as they're leaving, they spot these two women, couple kissing, but Shaun's seen them kissing as he was going into the bar. Turns out one of them's infected, because the other one's head literally falls off as these two stop looking. Pretty funny scene, where they've also got, they're doing a wee tune, and then the zombie's going, thought that was pretty funny, but then they go to bed, they wake up the next morning, boom, zombies are out back, you know, they're throwing records, like, how do we kill these things? It's funny, like, seeing that. It's always cool in these movies where you see, like, their first interactions with zombies, but obviously here, you knew it was going to be a bit comical, and it was. I thought it was done pretty well. I was like, don't want to throw that record, that was my second ever record, Blue Mondays, all that shite. But the roommate, it's funny when he interrupted them at like 4 a.m. in the morning, he's like, at 4 a.m. in the fucking morning. It's like, some homeless bastard bit me when I was going home. And he's like, I didn't give a fuck, I wanted to get into my bed, so, you know, once you hear he's been bit, bang, bang, good night. Something crazy is going to go down here, troops. Ain't that right? But yeah, anyway, they leave him, they take his car, they drive over to the mother's house, who's there with the stepdad, and Shaun didn't really get on with the stepdad, but he's been bit. They take him with him, he gets bit again, he's bleeding out. They pick up Liz and the gang in the jag, as Jeremy Clarkson would say. It's pretty packed out at this stage of the game. But then he basically's like, you know, I always loved you as a son. I was hard on you because I wanted you to go up and be strong and be a good man. And I'm proud of the man you've become. All that generic talk. Shaun's like, I'm proud to call you my dad. He then dies. And yeah, people are in disbelief. His mum can't accept it. Like, what is going on there? the man that I loved is now a zombie. And then they make their way through back gardens. His mum gets left behind. She's then like found planked out on the ground. And it's like, what is going on here? Like, how did she end up planked out? Turns out during this sequence, this is when she actually got bit. But it's like, how did she get bit? How did she get bit then end up planked out on the floor? Kind of makes no sense, but you've got funny scenes where they're running through walls and they run into another group of survivors who Shaun knew, one of the women. And yeah, they've got their own, they've got their own crew. So there's 6 each, and it's like each person is like a replica of that person, which I thought was funny between the 2 groups. But yeah, they make it into the Winchester. Shaun has to go separately. Obviously, the wee man that fancies Les is like, oh, Shaun's going to leave us. Shaun's going to leave us. He has a really weird voice, him, that I couldn't even attempt to do. But some funny scenes here with darts, etc., etc. Find out that his mum is bitten. He wants to kill his mum. It's totally logical though that she has to go. Here, like, I get it for the sake of the music. You want to kill my mum? And he's crying, and he's like, oh, you want to get Liz? You always loved her. And then his girlfriend's like, yeah, I knew you only hung around with me to get close to Liz. But it's like, this guy is punching. Liz and the other woman, I can't remember her name, right? Liz is probably like a 7 out of 10. The other woman looked good in certain angles and then didn't look as good in other angles, but 7.5 maybe, 8. And it's like, this wee specky fucking nerd is like a 3 out of 10. He doesn't look horrendous, but, looks like the most beta thing going. And it's like, these women are going head over heels for this jabroni. Doesn't really sit right with me, but his mum then gets shot, which is funny. Then I can't even remember the guy's name. Is it Peter? Peter the prick, I don't know. Peter knows us, I don't know. Peter then gets dragged out, his girlfriend goes out stupidly for him. I guess it didn't make much sense. Getting her intestines and all ripped out. Just seemed a wee bit ridiculous at the time. And then, what else happens? I mean, those 2 die. You get, have a good time, nothing gonna stop me. Stop who I like it. That song's blasting and darts are getting flung in the head. Boom, the Winchester gun turns out it's real. How can 5 people operate 1 gun? It's a very valid point. Ed then gets bit a few times. Shaun then kills the roommate. Ed flyers over the bar. They're like, what are we going to do? We go down into the basement and boom. Would you look at that? It looks like we're dead, but then Ed's like, use the elevator. Ed gets left behind. Shaun and Liz survive. The woman from earlier, her entire group died apart from her. And the military saved them all. And then the funny ending is that Shaun is keeping zombified Ed alive to play video games with. So, yeah, pretty happy ending all in all. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it's a pretty fun movie. And it is, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. But I think it's not as good as Hot Fuzz. And I think it lacks something that Paul has. It's a weird one. I think it's got great rewatch value. Obviously if you're British, you're going to enjoy this movie a lot more than if you're, American, put it that way. But for me, it does what it says on the tin. It's a fun movie. It's a 7 out of 10, guys. I don't really know what else to say. Fun movie, and I guess for the fog entertainment nights out there, you could go and check Shaun of the Dead out, which I believe is reviewed. No, not Shaun of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and then compare the ratings and see which one's better. But until then, peace.